Steve and welcome to my channel. This is just ordinary bearing grease that you use, like you would use on a wheel bearing or any bearing. Now this is quite critical, but I think with that spring on there it's not going to seize up, but I will put some, oh, there's actually a oil hole here. Didn't realise that. Obviously you don't want this sticking up because that can be dangerous. That's got it. I'm going to put a new split pin in there. More. I know it's not the correct thing to put this a screwdriver in the gears, but these are very strong and it's not going to do any harm. I don't think so anyway. Looks good. That's a nice tight fit. So the long end goes up, long end always goes up like that. Need a smaller hammer really. And the short end, I might have to trim that short end to bring it down. So that's the way I've chose to put this split pin in. There's always a debate on YouTube of different people which is the correct way. So do I turn it 90 degrees and bend them around like that? Well, in this case, no, because it's a Consul nut. But in some situations, sometimes it is better to put them around like that. That's the way I think anyway. There's lots of discussion about that. Tell me what you think. Is that correct? Or should I put it round like that? Oh well. So what I was saying earlier about a split pin. Now this split pin is the other way round. It's not appropriate to put it over the top. Yeah, so that's why I say really there isn't a right and a wrong way when it comes to split pins, but it definitely was on that Consul nut. Right, I'll go down a bit. So I don't want it any longer than that. Right, so I've measured this one and I measured the other one by the garage door, and it's actually 9 inches difference. So that means the hook's going to come up there. That's fine, because that is, even if I have an engine over there, I've still got room to put it on the engine. So yes, I can get rid of this. I'll cut this so that it hangs up. I will cut it so it hangs about there. I don't think I've ever tried to cut with a hacksaw before. Oh, it's soft. Hope I'm cutting the right one. Ooh, look at that, that's tightened up on it. Okay. Can you see this? So this punch, I've had it probably since I started working in 1970, but it wasn't a punch in them days. What it is, it's either a reamer or a drill, and it's the Morse taper. I think that's a number 2 Morse taper, and for somehow I managed to just start using it as a punch, and it's been actually milled and ground. I probably did this, but this punch I've had all those years, and I always use that a lot. Another bit of useless information for you there. Okay, so that's that chain done. So now all I've got to do now is put the other chain around here and decide how much shorter it needs to be, and then I've got to weld a link together, because this doesn't take any weight. This is just to turn the wheel. Right, so the front panel where the radiator bolts onto is 4 feet above the floor, and that's because I've got it on the skates, and when I put the engine in, it will probably be on the skates. So this needs to be more than 4 feet. So that's 4 feet 2 inches there, and I've already marked it like that. So now I need to cut that link out, cut that link and open it out, and then try to join it together. Right, I've cut this link and I opened it with a screwdriver, and I was able to get the other one in there. So now I've tried it on there like that and it works fine and it would be okay, but I'm not going to leave it just like that, because you never know, sometime in the future someone may be using this to lift something. So I've decided I need to weld it. Okay, that's nice and clean now. Right, that's all done now. This is the short one, the short link. There's the weld. Now I haven't ground it down because there's no need, because look, as it comes onto the wheel here, it doesn't touch anything. If that link was there, it would be a different matter, but that's always going to stay like that, and that's fine. So I'm happy with that, and that's just long enough to be just 2 inches above the front panel of my car, so it's not going to damage it at all. So now I'm going to see what's on that label, on the cover that goes on here, and paint it. Right, so I'm just taking the paint off of this label and this little label here, and once that's all off, I'll just give this a quick rub down. I'm not going to be too fussy with it, and then put it back. So that paint stripper has been on there literally, what, 2 minutes, something like that, and it's worked very well. Sometimes when you use paint stripper, depending on the paint, it doesn't work, but this time it has. And I think this is smooth Hamite, but I'm not sure what it is. That's coming up nice. I need another 1 or 2 coats around the edge here. Oh, it's got an address. So on there is an address, but it's very difficult to read. It looks like Cromwell Road. I don't know. Right, well, I made another decision. I will keep the patina, simply because I can't be bothered painting that, and I'm just going to leave it like that. What I will do is get these dents out, because these washers are not original, and I put them on probably because it's been dented in. So I will get a mallet on here and try to straighten it out, and then it's finished. A little tip. Down here is one of the legs of the bench, the other one's over there. So when you're hitting something like this, it's always best to put it over the leg of the bench. If you put it in between 2 legs, the bench flexes and it doesn't have the right effect. It doesn't straighten so well. So just going to persuade it. I might get my favourite punch as well. And this rubber's not going to damage that label. So these nuts are half nuts and these nuts are full nuts, so I'm going to swap them over. Maybe it's always been wrong. Maybe that's the problem. I do one at a time. That's a half nut, that's a full nut, so it may be that's why. And I didn't suss that out how many years ago? 40 years ago. Is it 40 years ago? Still not tightening down, that's weird. Well, it still didn't work, so I found 4 washers that are 2mm thick, put them under there. Now I'm going to try it. Put it that way. Yeah, that's tightening down, so that solved that problem. Yeah, that's fine. So that's the end of this video. In the end, I didn't do any painting, just took the paint off that label. So if you want to see me using this hoist, look in the description below, and there's a link to my other video where I do the clutch lever return spring, and I do a test to see if that new one will work. So the link is below here, and then you'll see me lifting the engine up, taking it off the little trolley I've got, and then putting the gearbox onto the block and assembling it all as though it will be in the car, and then I'll make a decision if that spring is any good. So thank you for watching, and hope to see you next time. If you want to see me using this video